December 21st, 2012. Is this something we should take seriously? The end of the world? Or the end of the 13th cycle? When the Mayans predict that their ancient god will return? Well, let me just put this into perspective for you. In my opinion, extra-biblical prophecies are not to be taken seriously. They might be interesting, but extra-biblical prophecies are just that. Either they're made by man, or they're given by our adversary, Lucifer. The only prophecies that are to be taken seriously are the prophecies that are in the scriptures, the holy Kodesh scriptures. We have to realize, though, that the adversary has been around for much longer than us, at least 6,000 years. And he knows he has a broad spectrum of that amount of time and what has happened, and he's learned quite a bit. He's also the most knowledgeable, the wisest of all creation. Now, of course, his creator is much wiser. Lucifer does not have the information that Elohim has. Lucifer can get close in predicting the end. He knows the time is short, and he knows how much time he has, because he understands the grand scheme of things, and he knows he only has 6,000 years, and we're right up upon the millennium, which is the 7,000 year period. That is the millennial Sabbath, and he knows that we're right up towards the edge of that. So it wouldn't be difficult for him to give the Mayans that information of when to end their calendar. You have to realize that Lucifer has always engaged humans as giving humans a higher, advanced knowledge of things to lift up elites. But in exchange for that, he requires sacrifice. And this goes on to this day. It actually just happened just a few days ago with a mass murder. I believe that was done by most likely mind-controlled kids who went out and did this. Just like Columbine, just like Colorado, Connecticut, the Batman film shooting. These are all mind-controlled kids, and their purpose is to get in the heads of the people that we need to start calling for the government to take away our guns. But these are all sacrifice rituals, and it's going on today. Back in the day, I mean, all of this architecture, all of the architecture, the mathematics, hieroglyphics, this goes on to this day, from the Mayans to the Egyptians to the Masons. It all comes from the same source. It all comes from Lucifer. So could the Mayans be close? Sure. They could be close. But does this mean that the world is going to end? Absolutely not. It's an extra-biblical prophecy. Now, the world, of course, who is controlled by Lucifer, and the mass media will pick up on this. Hollywood obviously picks up on this to push what? Fear. The end of the world. It's not going to be the end of the world. The reason why we know it's not the end of the world is because we have real prophecy. And real prophecy states that there is an entire timeline in the book of Revelation that needs to be fulfilled. Number one, the rapture has to happen, and then Antichrist has to be released and revealed. And then 7 years of mass tribulation needs to happen on the planet. Satan needs to be cast down in the middle of that time period. And then the return of Yeshua HaMashiach at the end of that 7-year period. And then another 1,000 years before Lucifer is released. When Yeshua HaMashiach comes back, Lucifer is bound for 1,000 years, but after that he's released for a short period of time, and that doesn't last too long, and then he's kicked into the lake of fire forever and ever, and we'll never see him again. But there's all kinds of time, at least 1,007 years to go. Will the world end tomorrow, or in the next few days? Absolutely not. So do not worry about this. The only thing that could happen, because nothing's going to happen from outer space to smash like Nibiru and all this nonsense that you're hearing, it's not going to happen because of what I just explained. The only thing, in my opinion, that could happen on December 21st, 2012, is not something that would be from Elohim himself, not something from the outer space. The only thing that would happen is something that's man-made. Usually something that the government created for, of course, more fear. The adversary would be a part of that, of course. But as far as the things that are in the book of Revelation, I don't believe there's any connection to this date whatsoever. Could the rapture of the church, of the bride of Christ, happen on December 21st, 2012? Well, I'll answer that with a question. One of the more, actually the first place in Scripture where the mystery is given is when Paul writes to the church at Corinth. And he writes in 1 Corinthians 15:52, he says, "See, I speak a secret to you. We shall not all sleep, but we shall all be changed in a moment, in the twinkling of an eye, at the last trumpet. For the trumpet shall sound, and the dead shall be raised incorruptible, and we shall be changed. For this corruptible has to put on incorruption, and this mortal to put on immortality." And that goes on in 1 Thessalonians 4:16 through 18. And there are more passages that explain the rapture of the church. But did you notice that Paul specifically mentioned that it happens at the last trumpet? That's a clue. That's a clue as to when the rapture happens. Does the last trumpet happen on December 21st, 2012? I do not believe so. If you'd like to find out more information when the last trumpet does blow, I've done a good study on that, which you can watch right here. Thanks for watching. Don't fear. Stay in prayer. Stay close to Elohim. He loves you. Thanks for watching. What you're listening to right now is the last trump. This is what we will hear when the rapture happens. This is also exactly what happened in Exodus 19:19, and when when the voice of the trumpet sounded long and waxed louder and louder, Moses spake, and God answered him by voice, and the Lord came down, and Moses went up.